What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another live with the MPower show. So excited that you are with us today because we have a very, very special episode today. As promised, we said that we would do some type of health related episode each fourth week of the month. I believe this is the fourth week, or maybe this is the third week. I don't know. It's February, Black History Month, however it goes. But we are so excited to be with you again today. Donzale, what's going on?
Man, life is good.
Life is good. And so today, I thought that we would talk about fitness and have a trainer that many people know. If you're from the Middle Tennessee area, we'll share a little bit more about him. But I thought it'd be a good time for us to talk about fitness, wellness, and our health. And I know you're
Mhm.
real big on fitness and working out and just having a holistic life approach. And so, talk a little bit about why this is an important topic for you.
Oh yeah, I think it should be an important topic for for anybody, because sometimes people get confused and they're so worried about money, money this and money that. But if you're not healthy to be able to enjoy any of those things now or
Yeah.
later on, it's really irrelevant. So I
That's
think it's
good. That's good. Well, we're not going to prolong our intro today. I'm Markeith Braden, and my co host is
Donzale Powell.
Donzale Powell, and we are the host of the Empower Show, where we're bringing you topics, hot topics, thought provoking topics each and every week. And today we want to talk about the art of discipline and the truth about fat loss. Let me say that again: the art of discipline and the truth about fat loss. And our guest today is Mr. Terrrance Pennigton. He is someone who has traveled their own 100-pound weight loss journey. Terrrance has the experience and perspective to help people achieve success and avoid setbacks and obstacles along the way. Drafted out of New Mexico in 2006 by the Buffalo Bills, Terrrance spent 4 years in the NFL, also playing for the Atlanta Falcons and New York Giants. After retirement, he took a new challenge, translating the high performance mindset of professional sports into a step by step system that can help anyone achieve their transformation goals. The result was Rhino Evolution, a groundbreaking system built to transform both body and mind, creating a foundation for lasting success. Terrrance is also the author of Terrrance Pennigton's Play by Play, coaching you through your weight loss journey, and a highly sought after motivational speaker with regular corporate engagements. And so, our guest today is Mr. Terrrance Pennigton. What's going on, Terrrance? How are you today?
Man, doing good, doing great. I get to sit over here next to you two beautiful people, so I'm doing good. How y'all feeling?
Thank
Awesome,
you.
awesome,
Good.
awesome. Good. Well, Terrence, we just shared a little bit about you, but I always like to have our guests share a little bit more about themselves that wasn't
Yeah,
necessarily in their bio. So go right ahead.
yeah. As you said in the beginning, I lost over 100 pounds, so I understand the struggle with weight loss and shame and guilt and beating yourself up. And also feeling like a failure on a journey, or maybe feel like I have done a lot of other great things, but I just can't get this thing right. So I definitely can relate to a lot of my clients or just people who I run into, and having the ability to resonate, to say I am you, I get you, and then be able to be authentic with others, which allows them to be authentic back to me about their journey.
So good, so good. So, as we continue to, talk about this topic of fat loss and
Mm,
having an opportunity for us to talk about discipline, I know you
mm,
have been on your own journey and
yes.
you share your journey, you share pictures and different things like
Yeah.
that. And so, let's dive deep into this
Yeah.
conversation around discipline. What when you hear the word discipline, what does it mean to you?
Back in the day, it used to be hard, tough, You in trouble, right? Just if I'm gonna be honest, with those words resonating for me from growing up, right? Is I'm going to discipline you, or you need to have discipline, especially from being in sports background. So back then it was. So I did have a negative connotation with discipline when people talked about it on your journey. It was something I ran away from. It was something that I avoided, or something that I felt like a hot iron, or whatever. How and now you're trying to give. But now, right, through my experiences, that what helps me to have a positive thing about discipline is it's just a practice,
Hmm.
right? It's just a practice,
Yeah.
and I used to have a big struggle with that, y'all, because I'm like, I'll play in the fail. I'm disciplined, but when it came to me trying to lose weight, I'm like, well, can't do this, right? So I love that we talk about this topic, because I love to kind of go deeper into that word discipline, or why people will say I'm not disciplined, but I love to challenge people on that thought, what I believe that brings them down about their identity.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I know you have made a post around, what is it that keeps people from achieving their
Mm.
fitness goals. And one of the things that I did say was the lack of discipline
Mm.
and really being honest with themselves about discipline, what it really
Mm.
takes. What were your
Yeah.
thoughts when you saw me type that?
Yeah, no, I loved it.
Yeah.
It kind of goes or evolves around the two beliefs that I believe from my experience and coaching people the last 12 years, that it's fears and illusions. It's the fear of failure. I always put weight loss or fat loss, whatever journey, is like a relationship, right? It's where you can be in one, and you could be an illusion of he'll get better, it'll work out, And I used to say the same things, like I can have this donut. It's only one time. I'll come back from this vacation. I'll get back on track, or I'll start after Monday and I'll be on it. So I believe those illusions that I used to have, a lot of people have about themselves, and also fears,
Yeah.
right? The fears that we have, just like anything else, where I know the relationship is not helping me, maybe this marriage, but my fear is, can I pay for my bills by myself? I fear of meeting somebody. I fear, going out on the market again. And I believe those fears is where we have that tug of war. And one side says, I should stop doing this. I know it's not good for me. But the other side is, can I? Will life be good without this mac and cheese right now? Will life be good without that? And having that fear, and I believe that's what keeps us in that tug of war. So my belief is illusion of fear. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. Dazale.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think people are scared of a lot of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And, but it takes, I think, having an open
Mm,
mindset to start
Mm,
pushing through that. Like, even though we're good and grown, quote unquote, good and
mm,
grown, it's still very relevant. And people, they don't
mm.
want to mess up. And when they do, they feel, like you said, beat themselves up. So I think it is true. Fear can hold people back for sure.
hmm. Yeah.
I love you said that, because you said make it harder. And I believe that what makes it harder is our methods that we use.
Hmm.
I always use relationship, because the majority of my clients are women, so I love using relationships. And if somebody could say that marriage is hard, but I ask them what method, like how do you listen to your wife, or how do you communicate? And like, well, your method you're using is what's making it harder, right? And I believe that we also can be conditioned, right, in ways, and it's hard for us, not hard, but it could be challenging for us to shift. Like, well, mama did it this way, mama did the smoothies, mama did that, or my coworkers did that, or I always did low calories, or I always did no carbs. So I believe that it's that reconditioning also can make it tougher on the mind to do something different. What D said is be open minded. And it's so big. You got to be open minded for us to change.
Yeah. Yeah. And when it comes to working out, so one of the things, because
Mm-mm.
I've been on this journey for I guess about 2 years now, and
And,
and
you,
and
and,
have
and you've been killing it, man. You've been
I
doing
appreciate it,
awesome too,
appreciate
man.
it. But just recently, I would say the last 6 months really started seeing results.
Hmm.
And I had to ask myself, why the last 6 months did I start really seeing results?
Okay.
And it was discipline. And because here's what have found out. I know that I was guilty of it, but now I see how other people are guilty of it too. that really going to work out is almost
Mhm.
kind of like a drug.
Mm.
Basically, and I'll speak for myself. I would go work
Okay.
out and I get this high that I went to work out, but then go to Taco Bell or go get some fries from McDonald's, right? And not really putting two and two together, that really all I just did was I just pleased this idea that I did go work out, at least went to the gym. So that gave me this pass to go
Yep.
eat unhealthy, which defeats the whole point of me actually going to quote unquote workout. But then also the last 6 months in kind of working out with Judah Lando. I know many of people know Judah. He was the
Judah.
one that really started to teach me that there was a difference between working out and training.
Mm. Come on.
That training is really what you want to be doing in order to see results. Working out, in a sense, either will kind of help you maintain, or it just gives you that emotional high that you actually did something, right?
Mm. So
And
good.
I thought that was a good perspective. And so I shifted my mindset that if I really wanted to see a body transformation, I needed to learn how to train versus just working out.
So good. When you said about like you'll work out, then you go eat, and again, if we go back to what I said, what discipline is, it's a practice. And what made it harder for me on my journey when I was 100 pounds was I was going through my depression. I didn't fail, doing that struggle. And I created a discipline, a practice to drink
Mhm.
alcohol every night. Right. So yeah, I will go work out, beast it, do my good eating for the day. But that nighttime, that Crown Royal apple or whatever during that time is gonna see me, right? And then of course that's gonna have me wanting to probably eat more food or get a little more hungry or appetite, and I'm adding more calories, and I'm like, well, I'm not seeing what I want, and I just had to change that practice. Right. And I think that if we look at our, like you said, awareness, if we look at what are we practicing, and is this practice helping me or hurting me, and that's when we have to make the decisions and not to kind of be emotional with it, just be logical and say, okay, this is not helping or aligning with my vision, and now what do I need to do to remove that so I can go forward with the vision.
That's good. That's good. Any more conversation around discipline? When you think
Yeah,
about,
man, listen. Yeah, because another thing that helps, I believe, the struggle with that is boundaries, because
mm,
it takes discipline now to put those boundaries. Because when I mean, so many different things that can make it harder. Again, I'm always going to say our method, right? If I'm struggle to have boundaries around certain friends that maybe are sucking up my energy or distracting me or making it easier for me to overcome the struggles that maybe I have with sweets or food. So I have to, or maybe I need to have boundary discipline and say no. If I'm always saying yes, 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 and then I start saying I got no time to work out, I got no time to meal prep. But we got to ask ourselves, are you being disciplined with your yeses or nos? Right. So I believe boundaries is a big thing with discipline, but it takes time. And that's why I love to say discipline is a practice, because if we can have grace for ourselves and see it as a practice and not seeing where we got to lose weight overnight or got to do it this month, and just like doing kung fu or doing sports, like I didn't go to the NFL overnight. I had to practice again and again. You know how many times I got my butt kicked in practice, but I didn't quit. I just kept on going. But the more I practice it, the better I got.
the more you practice, the better you got. That's so
Yeah.
good.
It really makes me think about, I kind of view it, you know how people have their New Year's resolutions and all of that stuff, but
Hmm.
in the beginning, they're so gung ho about it because for that moment they're motivated. So I think being
Mm.
able to transition from just being motivated to the dedication. So on that day when you're not motivated and it's cold outside and you're like, I could stay here in this warm bed. I have a choice. It's all about choice. You have a choice. I can stay here in this warm bed, or I can go do what I know that I need to do or what I said I was
Mhm.
gonna do. So it's that transition because motivation gonna come and go. I mean, even the most, I like to do this. I love to work out. I still have my days where I'm like, I don't feel like going to do this. So it's a
Yeah. Absolutely, and we all have that. Even for me being a coach, there's times where I'm like, I don't feel like it. If we go back to the word feeling, because we
Mhm.
don't just work out, we have other things in life that affects our feelings, right? Relationships, work, job, family. I mean, there's so many things that can now shift your feeling. And now I don't feel like doing something that you got to put in effort, sweat, hard work, pain. Because if you think about it, putting yourself through a workout is you putting yourself through stress. So if I'm already stressed about something and I don't want to put myself through more stress, I get it. So my thing that I had to learn, D, is that really helped me with the motivation was, and I used to be one of those people, right? I need motivation. I'm not motivated, whatever. But I learned is that motivation is like having a impulsive behavior, right? And it's like me saying that I need to be motivated to love my wife. I need to be motivated for me to go praise God, like right. So now I'm working on that, but that's the part where I believe that gets us off discipline is that we start to have impulsive behaviors and we get off the practice compared to staying faithful, right, loyal to the practice. So that was the thing that I had to really look at myself and say, Terrence, this is your habit. You have shiny object syndrome. You're looking for the shiny
Mm.
things. You
Yeah,
looking right. You're supposed to be doing this work, and now you put your phone. Who texts me? Like I'm all over the place with impulsiveness, right? So I had to really look at myself and say, okay, T, let's focus on being loyal and integrity, and not motivation.
that's so good. That's so good. The other piece to discipline before we move into the truth about fat loss is not just being disciplined in going to work out or your nutrition. One of the things I learned too was important discipline with sleep.
Mm.
That
Mm-hmm.
how sleep plays a major role in you
Listen.
getting the results that you want when it comes to, your body and your nutrition and how you feel and your energy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't really understand. TP gonna always be honest, right? I want to be real because I wasn't always understand these things, so I always want to talk to people like I get it, right? So people to say sleep, and again, I was at a place where I was in a bad mental place, so my behavior was stay up late, watch TV, do things to numb or not think about my past failures or frustrations, so that used to keep me up, right? And then that would have me struggle to get up in the morning to go work out some days, right? So I understand people can have that struggle. But what I just want to help somebody with that sleep part is, if you just think about stress, okay? So when you are in calorie deficit, when you're trying to lose weight, you're putting your body under stress. When you're working out, you're putting your body under stress. So the sleep part is what's going to help your hormones to balance that stress, because now when your hormones under stress and now your body is not operating properly like a car, and now it cannot do the things you want it to do, which is drop body fat, weight, things like that. So I'm not saying that you have to get 8 hours every day. I mean, to some people it's impossible. I know for me, it is impossible for the things that I want to achieve. But I learned that I had to be disciplined. Here we go. Disciplined with my practice of what I do at nighttime. So I can't say I can't go to sleep, but I'm looking at TikTok all night because we know how that's going to keep my attention up. I can't say I can't go to sleep, but I don't get to the bed to 10, 11. I can't say I go to sleep, but I don't have boundaries of me shutting off work when now it's time to take care of Terrence. So again, it does go back to responsibility too. But also, I had to learn that, Terrence, you can't expect your body to run properly if you're not given a chance. And that's why I was want to encourage people to have grace for your body. And can we expect our body to operate at a high level if we're not even given a chance to do it?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's so good. So good.
Mhm.
Well, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back and talk about the truth about fat loss
Dun,
and
dun,
get
dun.
get deep into, hey, if you really want to lose fat, are
Let's
you
go.
really going to be disciplined enough to make it happen? So we'll be right back right after this commercial break. Hey, just popping in real quick to say two things. Thank you for listening to the Maximize Your Brand podcast each and every week. And number two, I want to let you know that I am offering a brand new program called Laser Coaching with Markeith Brayton. I know you have dreams, I know you have aspirations and things that you want to do. And sometimes you just need a little bit of accountability to get you moving in the direction that you desire to go in. I can remember back in 2014 when I first got laid off my job, I had a decision to make. Was I going to pursue my dream or was I going to go back to the 9 to 5 rat race that I just did not enjoy? And the only thing that really helped me to make that decision was that I invested in myself and got coaching. And that coaching was tremendous in my making the decision to keep going and pursuing my entrepreneurial dream of becoming a professional speaker and a digital personal brand coach. And today, I want to make that same offered opportunity to you. That if you're ready to move to your next level, if you're ready to learn how to leverage your personal brand for a business, then this opportunity is great for you. Laser coaching with Markeith Brayton. It's a 3-month time frame where you get up to 15 to 30 minutes unlimited laser coaching. But there is one caveat. You have to make sure that you finish the homework from each coaching session before you schedule a new one. And once again, it is for a 90-day time frame and it's unlimited coaching, 15 to 30 minutes. You can schedule as many as you want as long as you do your homework in between the sessions before you schedule your next session. So if you are interested in laser coaching and this offer, I want you to go to markeithbrayton.com/laser coaching. That's markeithbrayton.com/laser coaching. And let's move you in the direction that you want to move in, because sometimes you just need a little bit of accountability to help you along the way. I look forward to seeing you signing up for laser coaching with Markeith Brayton. All right. Welcome back. So let's hop in here. The truth about fat loss. Man, it is the hardest thing to do. Like I'm at that last little bit and it ain't going, it don't seem to be going nowhere. But there is, one of the things that I'm learning is that we have a tendency to talk a lot about losing weight. But even in the losing of the weight doesn't necessarily mean that that body fat percentage is going to move that much.
Come on now. Yeah. It's and I had to learn that lesson the hard way because again, you're gonna do what you know, right? When it comes to trying to lose weight and trying to change. So yeah, I was a guy that, would eat like a bird. I was a guy that did just all cardio. I was a guy that only ate one time a day or twice a day. Like I was that guy. And yes, I was losing weight. And if we look at losing weight, right? Because I tell you all the time, you want to lose weight, don't eat, right? Don't eat nothing. Get on a scale, you lose weight, right? But I don't think people's goal is to lose weight. I think they want to look good and feel good. And when I was losing weight in that way, that method, I wasn't looking good the way I want because everything was just dropping. I call it like skinny fat, where I was getting smaller, but I wasn't tall and tightened, so I still didn't like what I see, right? And I'm like, why nothing tight and why, And I had to learn it the hard way. But again, then God make mistakes. I had to learn it so I could teach it and know exactly what people go through. And yeah, there's a difference. So when you're losing weight, right, if you look at it, it's losing water weight. It could be losing muscle tissue and also losing fat. Yeah. And what I learned, right, study shows, is that when you're doing like a fasting type diet, meaning that you're doing very, very low calories, 60% of the weight loss is muscle tissue, 40% be fat. And when you're losing now more muscle tissue, that's going to have your metabolism go lower, which will make it now harder for you to lose weight. But also, again, it's going to have you to where you're not going to be that tone, tight, and look. and now you're not happy because you're like, wow, I'm not seeing the change I want. Now that word motivation, right, or fire leaves, and now we go back to our old ways, and then we go into that cycle, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the weight loss. Now the fat loss part is it is different. This is where your coach talked about being training versus just working out, because like you said, training is now there's a method. You're more methodical. There's purpose behind what you do compared to, I call it, Marky, I call it sweating. You got training and sweating. And that
Okay.
was me. I'll go and sweat, but I didn't really know exactly what I was doing when it comes to methods. And if you ask me, T, why are you doing that? D, I'll be like, I don't know. T, why are you doing that? I don't know. And if you don't know why you're doing it, then that tells me you just sweating, but you're not actually training. And that's the part where I want to help people out. D and Mark is have understand that it's really not hard. I'm gonna keep saying it until God take me home. It's that the method that we're doing can make it hard and easy, and it's like a door, right? This is the thing I use. It's like open a door, right? I can take my hand and push it where a doorknob is, and it'll open easy, or I could push it with a door hinge at, and it makes it hard to push, right? So it all depends on what method you're going to use, and one will be easier and harder. And I believe that when people lack information, knowledge, right, or the support, that can make it harder. And when they get that support, understanding, and actually practice it, and then they're like, oh, this is easier. I'm like, yeah, right. And that's the part where I believe my purpose is to help people to know, like, hey, let me show you a different method, and let's find a method that makes it easier for you than doing something that makes it harder.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Because and you learn this along the way, right? We're taught what's the first thing we think we want to do to lose weight or lose body fat? Run.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I learned that it's it's actually maybe more beneficial for you to walk on the incline on
Mm-hmm.
a treadmill than to actually
Yeah,
run, especially if you're trying to build muscle,
that
right?
part.
Because your cardio could be counterproductive to you building muscle, and maintaining it. And so I'm like, wow, like everything that we seem to have been taught or we thought we knew to do
Yeah.
is really not what we should be doing.
And that's what makes it tough because I mean we don't go to school for this, right? Just like wealth is the same thing. I believe in health where we don't learn these different practices. We learn how to dissect a frog, but not our bodies, right?
Mhm.
So I believe that's what makes it tough, and that's what also makes it harder in the society because you see social media. And there's so many different methods, and I get it. Should I do no carb? Should I do keto? Should I do intermittent fasting? Should I do clean 30? Should I? So, it's so many things out there. And I always say, get educated, right? Number one, you can do it yourself or get somebody that has a proven results and somebody that's going to actually explain what, why, and how. And if you ever ask me, like, T, what type of coach you should get? One that will explain to you why and what, and not just somebody who just say, here, go do that, right? Because in the day, you still won't be independent of how to take care of yourself. And I believe that is so important. Like what D said is that, hey, you want to know how to take care of your body. We know how to take care of, well, I don't know how to take care of that car. I take somebody else, but I know how to put gas in it, right? I know how to operate it and drive it. And if I don't know how, and now I got to be dependent on somebody else to take me somewhere. And what I don't want people is to be dependent on a doctor and now they're a slave to what a doctor tell them and not saying that, hey, I can manage myself. So yeah, so that's huge is to get the education.
Yeah. Dr. You have
Well,
anything
yeah,
to
what you
add?
got, D?
And,
Yeah, because I love following her. Come on now, she
I'm
quiet.
sitting
Talk to me,
there
and
D.
listening.
Terrence, bring your camera down just a little bit there.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've noticed, there's a lot of ladies, of course, they quote unquote want to lose weight, and they start down this road, the rabbit trail, and they kind of, I think, get freaked out about the scale not necessarily moving like they feel like it should be
Mhm.
moving. And I'm like, dude, like, just keep going,
Hmm.
because not realizing, I think they don't necessarily, especially off top, if you're new to all of this,
Yeah.
understanding body composition.
Yeah.
Like, literally for me, if
Yeah.
I lose just 5 pounds, which I know that don't sound that number, but I will look
Yeah.
totally different. Like five
Yeah.
pounds up or down on me makes me either I have a joke, husky or slim. Like literally 5 pounds. That's it. All because of what I've done. And so a lot of times people ask, well, I think I need to do all this cardio first, and then I'm gonna get to the toning. Okay, if that's what you want to do. I know for me, I'm trying to do kind of almost the opposite. I'm doing strength, and yes, I know I need some cardio, but I don't know. It's just seeing them kind of get frustrated so quickly. Is one of the things that I've seen a lot. And so just trying to keep people encouraged, like, no, the scale is not everything. And one of the
Mhm.
things that I've encouraged people to do is to do the body scans where it
Yeah.
literally breaks down what is your real composition, how much
Mhm.
body
Yeah.
fat do you have, what type of visceral fat do you have, and being able to see, oh, it my weight went up, but it went up because I gained more muscle, not fat. So don't freak out, it's okay.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the
So
truth.
good.
That's one of those truths about fat loss, like that.
Mhm.
Getting those body scans done really helps. So I started doing it in December, but I took one from January, beginning of January, and one the beginning of this month, just so I could track it every month. I
Mhm.
went down 5 pounds, but my body fat percentage only went down 1%.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was at 21 body fat, it went down to 20. I was at 190 when I started in January, and I was down to 185 the beginning of February.
It's good.
But the other thing that I actually added to that, though, was also taking tape measurements too.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I
Yeah.
tell them that too. Do your measurements, because especially for us as late, which to me, of course, y'all guys, y'all do tend to lose a little faster than we do. We have a little bit of struggle going on. However, I do encourage doing the measurements, because you
Yeah.
could the scale could be the same, and you feel your pants getting loose, you feel this, and you're like, oh, hold up, okay, let me keep going. That's the thing. You just got to keep going.
So good. And we hear the saying that comparison is a thief of joy, and I believe the scale is too.
Yep.
Because it can take away your joy of the changes that you're seeing, right? Like, hey, I'm
Right.
sleeping better, or I'm feeling better about
Mhm.
myself, or I'm having more energy, or I'm not feeling bloated,
Mhm.
or my knees not hurting, or my back not hurting. Like, it's so many of those things, and the scale can really take that away where we put so much on that. And I love what you were saying, how people will say, or ladies will say, well, I'm gonna do cardio first and toning. And what I hear, and I get it, is that what they're saying is, I want to do what I'm confident in first, which
Right.
is cardio,
Mhm.
right? And what I'm not, and it's human nature, and I get it, right? And that's the part to me, D, where I'm so passionate, because you have these social media, and they put all these, I call it show workouts. So you got these
Yeah.
crazy workouts, and now you got somebody, Jane, who 43, ain't worked out since 88, and she's like, you better have me do what, right? So it's so good to to be able to, like somebody like you, to really help ladies say, hey, like, you don't got to do all that much. It's just up down, do it again, practice again, eat your protein, get some sleep, do it again, right? And yeah, like you said, I believe that ladies want to lose a stomach. That's what they want. They want to lose that stomach, right? If you're saying what they want to lose, it's like, I want to lose a stomach. See, the weight gonna go off too, but that's what I want, and that's the fat loss you're saying. We talk about, Marquis, because you can say I'm gonna lose weight, but not seeing that stomach going down, because you're not losing the body fat, and you're still frustrated. So you right, D. It goes back to that reconditioning. What we know, it takes time for somebody to say, "Don't look at the scale. This is what Mama did. This is what Grandma did. This is what all my sister did." So I understand how it could be a struggle. I mean, it was a struggle for me with the scale, because being an athlete, we got weighed every Thursday, right? When I was in the field, every pound you over, Marquis, that's $400 a pound a day, right, in the
Mm.
NFL. So again, being brainwashed is weight, 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 weight. You go to the doctor, they care about your weight. They're not saying, give me your body fat percentage. So I understand that, right? And our job is how can we just have repetitive verbiage over and over and over and over to have them to get retrained of like, baby girl, forget the scale. Let's just focus on doing the work. And if we do the work and trust it, it'll work out for you.
Now,
And I'm gonna raise my hand. These guys want to lose the stomach too. That's the
Oh yeah,
part
oh
that
yeah, oh
that's
absolutely.
where
Oh
my
yeah,
last
oh yeah.
20%
Nobody
is. I'm like, I'm trying to get to the
come,
six pack at
come on now.
45, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen.
It's already done. We just waiting for time to catch up.
Now I will say with the scale, when I first started it, what consistently with my weight loss journey, or just, kind of how health and wellness, I was consistently getting on there, if not every day, pretty much at least probably every other day. And mine was less, I understood, I got to the point where I understood about, like I said, the body composition and stuff. So it wasn't so much that I was, tore up about what the number was, but I wanted to see for myself, how were certain foods affecting me. I
Mm,
might be able to eat X, Y, and Z and be just fine. But then
mm,
somebody else is eating something else. I'll go try it, and literally I'll get on the scale the next day and it's 5 pounds up. And I'm like, what? Like, how does this
mm,
happen? So it just made it, I was helping myself to become more aware instead of beating myself up. Like, oh, okay. And then I might wait a while and then try it again. If it did it again, I'm like, okay, maybe my
Mm.
body is just not responding to this particular food for whatever reason, and this just isn't something that I can have, or I need to have on a very rare basis versus, often.
So how do you
mm.
help your clients with that part, Terrence?
Well, understanding. So what I do in my program is so I come from football. And in football, you don't get on a field until you learn the plays. So I rather debunk all the things that brings fears, all the myths, all the illusions. So I do that first with my ladies. So I have videos and teachings and training. Like maybe you heard of this, but science is the truth on this. Excuse me.
Mhm.
And then that helps them to say, "Oh, I get it. Okay." And then that gets them to be excited about doing something different or changing something because that was how I learned, because again, I didn't know. It was until I got certified when I was like, "Oh, that's why doing all that ranch on my salad wasn't helping. Oh, that's why doing 2 hours oh, that's why doing Fruity Pebbles. Listen, I did Fruity Pebbles every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because it was 110 calories, but I didn't know, right? It's just not knowing. And my whole thing is just like it says in the word, my people will perish because of lack of understanding, education, information. So I'm just I'm very passionate to have them to know because it's like a recipe. That's why I love working with ladies because ladies, they follow directions well. Right. And when they understand the direction and they get it and it makes sense to them, and then they're like, oh, and now they will follow like a recipe and they will kill it, right? And they just need to understand it. But I like to do it in a way where it connects with them. And I love using relationships. I love using things that they're used to that connects to them, and also having trust because yeah, you got to trust yourself and not the scale. And that's the part where me being a man of God, it's like let's not faith is not about what you're seeing, it's about what you're hearing. So listen to what I'm telling you and not what you're seeing on scale, and let's really practice true faith.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah.
what? Real quick, I love that you said that, because, and it's really important that we talk about this, because it's not even just about us or our age range. A lot of people have children.
Yeah,
So I can remember when I was younger, to me, I thought as a kid, let me drink all of this juice. I wasn't a big water person. I didn't
yeah,
like water, but I'm thinking I'm drinking this healthy juice, not realizing I'm literally drinking all this sugar all day long.
yeah.
And I was that kid. Why? Because I was drinking all my calories, not even realizing it. So yeah, I think it's a trickle down effect that the more that we educate ourselves and others, hopefully it'll help somebody else.
Yeah, and we could do it in a fun way, right? And that's a part where we can get intimidated because it's like what's all this testosterone, this insulin, so much, right? And I was the same way with finance, right? So learning, if I would have knew better, then I would have had way more money, right? So I get it. So I just didn't have nobody that, or not saying to have nobody, probably is there. But sometimes you got to go through losses for you to say, okay, I'm tired of getting beat up. So let me learn a hook. Let me learn how to bob and weave. And then when once we can humble ourselves and say, you know what, let me learn and have somebody to teach you in a simple way. And the thing is this, ladies and fellas, you're not being a bodybuilder. You're not trying to be a UFC fighter. You just need to know just the basics, right? And if you learn the basics, just like tying your shoe, guess what? You know it like the back of your hand. You do it again, do it again. After that, like you can't get it wrong. And that's the part where I just want to encourage anybody who listening is once you learn it once, you got it for the rest of your life. But now you got to want to go learn it, and you got it.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that because another truth about fat loss, I mean, unless you are preparing for a competition,
Yeah.
that I have found is that I can just about eat all the things that I like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
But I can do that because I track my food.
Mm.
I use my fitness pal and it kind of helps me to say, okay, if I want to have a Reese's peanut butter cup and I know it's 210 calories and has this much fat and this much carbs, it helps me to gauge, okay, well, I may need to skip this thing for lunch and just have this, right? And that does take a little, that takes some discipline to do that. But I have found that tracking my
Mm.
food every day has really helped me to still enjoy some of the things that I like to eat, and not get out of hand, but yet still keep the physique and my weight down and still progress toward losing that body fat. Now, unless I'm trying to do a competition and stand on the stage, that's a different story. But, you know,
No, it's good you said that because again, we talk about fat loss, right? Because like with me, I was see, I have a sweet mouth. I don't got a sweet tooth, right? Sweets is my thing. Okay, so me because I was eating a lot of sweets and during that time, so when I eat carbs or overload, my body will turn them carbs into sugar, even though I can have less calories than I put in, but because of how much I'm eating, because of my body type, which is an endomorph where I hold on to weight or hold on to fat compared to somebody who's skinny, they struggle to put on muscle. So that's why I believe when people say it's hard, it's not really understanding. So for me, yes, I had to track of how much carbs I put in one time because again of my body type, but also my insulin levels, which is if I'm eating, let's say, give example, I'm going to eat 4 pieces of bread, 4 or 5, right? It can say, T, it's only that many calories. Like, but because I'm eating that amount in one time, and because of me having a history of eating so much sweets, so my insulin level is basically broken like a diabetic, to where now my body is going to take that carbs and turn it into fat because of what I've done. So that's why those things can be harder for somebody to say, T, well, I'm not losing. And then once I explain to them, like, oh, so now I'll say, well, let's put your carbs around your workout. So now your workout will burn it and not where you have it at nighttime. And now you sit and your body's like, all right, T, what you want to do with this honey bun? And I'm gonna say, child, I'm gonna lay down, I'm tired. And say, okay, well, I'm gonna store it in your back fat, I'm gonna store it in your stomach, right? So, like you said, tracking, and again, those are things that it's not complicated. Once you just learn it one time, you got it for the rest of your life. But in the day, you have to have a desire of saying, like, I'm tired of losing, I'm tired of guessing, I'm tired of stomach. Somebody come show me how to get this thing off, and we do it with anything else, right? When we have a desire, so you got to have that desire and remove the fears.
the truth about fat loss.
Love it.
The truth about fat loss. I'm trying to think what else have I learned these last 6, 7 months around the truth about fat loss. I used to do a lot of what do you call it, kind of circuit training, hit
Mm,
training,
mm,
and as I get older, you really don't want to do that type of stuff. Your knees and all of that. And it's just good to know, to realize that you really don't have to do all of those types of things to get the result that you want. You just need to do enough of the right things and maybe have different movements that you do in order to hit your target goal. And I'm glad that I'm just learning these things because as I get older, I want to stay fit, right?
That part. So basically, what you're saying is, you don't got to kill yourself,
Right.
right, or hurt yourself. And that was me. Listen, I was about 370 when I started my journey. I don't know if y'all remember that P90 and that insanity. Listen, it used to take my soul. The warm up, I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm trying to tell you, his warm up used to kick my butt. Okay. So yeah, but again, I come from football, so I'm thinking you got to kill yourself to do that. And I used to do it, but being a big guy or just having, again, my body was like an old Cadillac during that time. So knees, back, joints. And again, when we say I need to be motivated, usually it's us feeling good. So if I'm doing workouts that's above my tolerance of what my body can handle, I'm not going to get up the next day and be motivated because I don't feel good, right? So knowing, what your body needs, what you need, but also again understand that hey, all fat loss is more energy out, more energy and then you put in, right? For you to lose fat, lose weight. So now let's figure out what workouts do you enjoy and what workouts would you say, hey, I will keep coming back because I enjoy it. But you don't gotta do all these. Everybody's different. Burping, jumping, running around a track, stadiums. You don't have to. If you love it, do it, right? Everybody's different. But I want to tell somebody like, all right, maybe you got a bad knee. You don't have to do box jumps for you lose weight. You don't got to run a treadmill. You could do elliptical or bike, right? As long as you're
Yeah.
burning energy, like you said, Mark, whatever works for you works for you. Just have a practice, enjoy it, because if they're gonna do it over and over, baby, let me tell you this, I'm gonna enjoy it. So I had to learn that too. Is find things that Terrrance enjoy and not things that somebody else said I should do. And that was a game changer for me to lose 100 pounds. And I'm okay
Mhm.
working out by myself. I'm okay meal prep by myself because I'm okay with doing things that Terrrance like to do. And that was my game changer to lose my 100 pounds.
That's good. That's good.
Right. Mhm.
Well, we're going to take one more break and then we'll come back and let Terrrance let you know how you can learn more about him and follow him and connect with him if you're ready to get more discipline around losing that weight and fat loss. We'll be right back after this.
So with Donzale's Photography, we specialize in helping you bring out you. One thing that I've noticed, people can be scared, intimidated about doing a shoot, especially if it's the first time. I've modeled before, done acting, the whole nine. So if you need help with that, I'm gonna coach you through the whole thing. I'm gonna tell you how to pose, make you look real cute, and then by the time you get your images, you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, that was me, I did that. So I love doing that for people. I love bringing out you. So just make sure that you check us out. We'd be happy to work with you.
All right. As you lose that weight, you can contact Donzale and get those new pictures done.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Terrence, before you share how people can get in contact with you, how long did it take you to lose the 100 pounds?
It took me probably about 14 to 16 months that it took. And I tell people, because people always ask me how long it take, and I was like, don't ask. I tell people, don't ask how long it takes. I'd rather people ask what it takes, right? Because everybody length is different. It's like making you a millionaire or making you a million or maybe getting married. Like how long it take to get married? Like, well, what it takes to get married, right? So I just want to help somebody else that maybe use that or trying to find how long and compare themselves because that's again of joy. But to find me on Facebook, if you say T, I like what you're saying. I want to hear more. Of course, on Facebook, Terrrance Pennigton, or Instagram, I am Terrrance Pennigton. I did write a book, teach people how to lose 100 pounds. Don't judge me. I share the good, bad, and the ugly. But being vulnerable and honest is I want people to know, like, hey, if I can do it, you can do it too. So my website, the tpexperience.com, the tpexperience.com. Check out. But again, if you say, hey, I want to learn from a guy that's going to tell it all, the book is funny, it's awesome, but also give you some actual steps. And that's where you can find me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, Terrrance, we want to thank you for joining us for this episode of the MPower Show as we talked about the art of discipline and the truth about fat loss. This was a great, great conversation. We're always excited to have guests on who are experts in their area, in their field. And hey, you did a great job today.
It was fun being here. Hey, y'all made it easy. Y'all awesome with the question. Y'all made it easy. Y'all threw the alley oop. I just dunked it. So I appreciate you, both of you guys. You guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing because people need it and keep empowering us. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, hold on one second, but don't leave right just yet. Well, Donzale, we have gotten another episode here, and we always like to share a word of inspiration before we end the show. And so we'll let you go first today and share your words of inspiration.
Yeah, so Terrence already basically he kind of alluded to me having this saying earlier, which is quit quitting. So as we're talking about health, fitness, fat loss, all of that, like just don't stop. I mean, to me, that's the essential, like that's number one. Just keep going. Get up if you say you're gonna get up, or go stick to whatever regimen that you come up with or working with a trainer on. Just quit quitting.
Yeah, that's so good. And my words of inspiration would be mindset is everything. Like you have to get your mind right in order to get your body right, in order to get your life right, in order to get anything right. It first starts with mindset. Mindset is everything. I think I posted on my social media today on my Facebook this morning after finishing my workout Napoleon Hill's quote, if you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it. Conceive it first in the mind, believe it by faith, and then go do it. So thank you again for joining us for this episode of the Empower Show. We're always excited that you joined us. We're here each and every week. We hope you enjoyed it. Leave comments in the comments section. We didn't have time to take questions today. Let us know if you have questions. We'll forward those on to Terrence. And let us know if of shows that you want us to cover, experts that you would like for us to talk to, because we are always looking for new guests. But until next time, just remember this, always shoot for the top because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. Take care.